family. Sorry about before. We're doing this again. Should you be concerned that the great Arikana Chihombori Quao is talking white brotherhood in Zimbabwe? That sounds like you should be, correct? But, we're going to look into it. Here's what the sister had to say out of her own words. And I'm just going to turn on this video quickly, and we're going to do this. So, here's the notion, right? I'm going to show you the video. I'm going to pause occasionally. And like I said, you're listening to the pro-black perspective on KWSD radio. I had a little bit too much background noise, so I'm going to record it once again. But listen to this. And just pick up on whether or not, pick up on what she's saying. Because you have to understand, this is chess. You're too used to checkers. This is chess.
To my fellow African diaspora, my name is Ambassador Arikana Chihombori Quao. The past couple of days, I have been inundated with phone calls and emails, text messages, and WhatsApp messages about what is going on in Zimbabwe, particularly pertaining to the issue of the compensation of white farmers for the improvements on the farms that were taken over by the government during the land redistribution program. Allow me to take you back in history, back to 1980. The treaty that was signed in order for the War of Liberation to end is called the Lancaster Agreement because it was signed in Lancaster in the UK. The Lancaster Agreement, when it came to the issue of the land, it clearly stated that from 1980 to 1990, the government of Zimbabwe would not discuss land redistribution. But beginning in 1990, the government will implement the land redistribution program. And when implemented, the compensation to the white farmers for the land was going to be made by Britain. And in no circumstances was Zimbabwe going to compensate the white farmers for the land.
Okay, so first off, pay attention to that, okay? The white farmers are not being paid for the land. Right? They're not being paid for the land. They're being paid for the improvements on the land. And if you pay attention to what she's saying, because they're not even getting paid by Zimbabwe. Okay, they're not even being paid by Zimbabwe. Again, this is chess, not checkers. But it's a part of the agreement. And the reason why I want to stop right here is just to let you know is that, like I said, I'm an author myself. Right? I wrote the Book of Power. Okay? And you go to page 10. This is one of the first articles in the book, and Queen Akampong, right, one of my ancestors, is telling you that you're not supposed to, treaties are something that happens post-war, after a war. Treaties are signed, okay? And one of the things that she says here, right, and this is me writing, but it says they fought for their terms, they fought for their demands, we fought for our terms, we fought for our demands, and we fought until we didn't want to fight anymore. Okay? We fought until we didn't want to fight anymore. Understand that if you are a part of the war effort, then you go and you meet up with your opponent, with your enemy, and say, okay, we're going to stop fighting now. Okay? We're going to stop fighting now, but we have to come to certain agreement. You understand? And they fight for their terms. You fought for your terms. If the terms don't seem favorable to you, it's because you ain't fight strong enough. But not because you didn't. Not just because you ain't fight strong enough. Because you weren't there. You the critic. You was sitting on your hand expecting other people to fight the war that you think should be fought. For the terms you think that should be won, but you're not there to make sure those terms are secured.
That was made very clear, and it remains the case today. The government of Zimbabwe, however, was responsible for compensating the farmers for the improvements on the land. That is, for any houses that may be on the land, for any irrigation systems, any dams that may be on the land. The Constitution said the government of Zimbabwe must compensate the farmers for these improvements. Now, I may have a personal problem with that.
Look, she says she gonna say she has a personal problem, but look, it's very important to understand. If there are houses on the land, if there are this on the land, that on the land, and they said, look, these are the terms of our agreement, then yeah, you got to compensate them because you came to those terms. Not to say that you have to compensate them, but again, there are, today earlier we were talking about the worship, right? And the worship, one of the proverbs in the worship, or one of the quotes in the worship, that one of the ancient African wisdom is that for every joy there's a price to be paid. Okay, for every joy there's a price to be paid. If you say, you know what, we're not going to compensate you for the land, we're not going to compensate you for the houses that you had, the irrigation system you might have invested in, we're not going to compensate you for jack shit. You came here, you came here with money or whatever, and then now you're going to leave with nothing, and whatever, I don't give a shit. You could say that. You could say that. But listen to me. There's a consequence to that. There's the global embargo. There is Wazungu turning against you and looking negatively against you in all aspects of your well-being, which might be something you could ignore if you had better leadership, might be something that you could ignore if Africa was in a better circumstance. But if you are going along with this global economy nonsense, which you are, if you are going along with this global economy nonsense, then you're in trouble. You understand? If you're a part of their game, then you are in trouble. And yes, you are a part of their game. So as Arikana is going to say, it is what it is.
Because when they took the land 2-3 generations back, they did not compensate us. For some of us, for example, my own parents, my own grandparents, they had their land taken away and they were never compensated. However, we can say we did get the land back.
Look at that. They got the land back. You see, so the government took the land from, so after the Wazungu took the land, Chihombori's own family got their land back. Exactly what you would want from this. Exactly what you would want. But when they got their land back, there were houses, there were irrigation systems, there were improvements, and these white boys are just saying, okay, well, let us get compensated for that at least. You understand? And UK said, okay, we'll pay for the land that you lost. You understand? Because they probably bought the land from England. And then they got the land taken, so they said, yeah, okay, we'll pay for the land. But the improvements, the houses, and so on and so forth, Zimbabwe said, yeah, we can handle that. Technically, let's say Chihombori's family gets land, right? And then now they got a house on it, right? And of course you might say, oh, well, we lost something, so the house is whatever. They got the house. And so the government says, so if the Zimbabwean government puts it inside of the treaty that they're going to repay, then what are you complaining about? Were you a part of this treaty deal?
And we have accepted that. We moved on. I may disagree with that aspect of the Constitution.
You disagree?
Let's be fair. It's in the Constitution. It has been in the Constitution since 1990 that the farmers would be compensated for the improvements on the land. So the past few years, the farmers have come back and said we were never compensated according to the Constitution, and they went back to the government and they were demanding their compensation for what was agreed back in 1980. So the government did their own evaluation of those improvements of the farms they'd redistributed. The farmers came up with their own evaluation. The variance was too wide, so they reached out to other evaluators outside the country of Zimbabwe for fairness. So different evaluators came, and for the past couple of years, the white farmers and the government have been negotiating. And finally, they came to the final figure, which was 3.5 billion. Here comes the problem. The government of Zimbabwe does not have the money.
Okay, just understand this. The revenues of Zimbabwe is a tiny country. The revenues of Zimbabwe is 3.5 billion already. Okay, so they're not going to pay the whole freaking year, and so on and so. That's the revenues. The budget in Zimbabwe is 5 billion. Okay, so it's over budget. It's way over budget. All right, which also means that financially Zimbabwe is hemorrhaging. Financially, Zimbabwe is in a fix, and on top of that, it has this liability to pay these quote-unquote farmers. You understand? So it's in a terrible financial position. You understand? Or way over budget. And while you sit there and you, oh my gosh, I think that it's a bad decision. What are you doing on behalf of Zimbabwe? What have you done on behalf of Zimbabwe?
They understand, according to the Constitution, whether they like it or not, they're supposed to compensate the farmers for the improvements on the farms that were redistributed. Be it as it may, in the spirit of reconciliation, in the spirit of coming together as children of one Zimbabwe, regardless of your skin color, the government has agreed to this 3.5 billion figure.
Now you heard that part, regardless of your skin color. You're going to take a lot of issue with that, but this is the thing that we have to understand about nationalism. All right? This is the thing that you do not understand about nationalism. And that is that if you have citizens that are not of the same race group, that's your problem. You should have never had you should have never had foreigners who were citizens, because when they're citizens, they're no longer foreigners. You understand? You should have never had foreigners who were citizens, because when they are citizens, they are no longer foreigners. And so if you're treating them like they're citizens, it's because
the government does not have the funds. So they've also reached out to the children of Zimbabwe who happen to be white and say, you understand the situation, the government has no money. So let's work together to find a solution to this. So the farmers have agreed to fundraise the money themselves. They're going to reach out to organizations.
Now hear that. The farmers ain't even getting none of your black money. They're not even getting any of your black money. They're just using your name. They're just saying, you know what? Zimbabwe is repaying us because we are fundraising in Zimbabwe's name. They're not even getting any of your black money, but you there tripping over Arikana. You there tripping over Arikana, who said, look, it's not really sitting right with me. You know, she's gonna say some stuff that I might be like, you know, okay, a little bit too much. But again, you have to go and see, and it's only a little bit too much when you don't see the statistics. So I'm gonna show you the statistics on top of this too, right? But it's only a little too much when you don't see the statistics, when you ain't really paying attention to anything. You know, but your little emotionalism.
Institutions to Britain to fundraise the 3.5 billion. Those funds are going to come to the government of Zimbabwe, and the government of Zimbabwe is going to use those funds to compensate to the farmers for whatever they may have spent on the farms. Now, one might argue that why are they being compensated while the blacks, when the land was taken, they were not compensated? I tell you what, we got to move forward. We want the sanctions lifted.
No, hold on a second. Well, see, she wants the sanctions listed. Yeah. Look, you gotta understand, the reason why you wasn't compensated because the land was stolen. Because they were killing people and taking names. They weren't buying your land. They was stealing it. That's why you weren't compensated. Power, physical force, physical violence. That's why you weren't compensated. Don't ask questions.
This was a tiebreaker for getting the sanctions lifted. Let it be. We need to move forward as a united children of Africa, as a united children of Zimbabwe, regardless of our skin color. This is about reconciliation. This is about bearing the hatchet. And it also...
See, some of you still, oh, I guess regardless, it's chess. Pay attention.
About abiding by the Constitution of Zimbabwe. The government of Zimbabwe, under the leadership of President Mnangagwa, are saying, let's move forward, children of Africa. Let's move forward, children of Zimbabwe. Let's bury the hatchet. And the white farmers too are coming in and saying, we will raise our own money because we know the government doesn't have the money. Whether we like it or not, I hope you all understand that this is being done in the spirit of togetherness, in the spirit of moving forward as children of one mother Africa. White Zimbabweans, whether we like it or not, Zimbabwe is the only country they know.
Okay, you see? Now, listen to me. I'm going to reveal it toward the end. But you got to understand it's chess. You're still looking at it as checkers. You're hearing, white Zimbabweans? That's what you say. You're saying to yourself, white Zimbabweans? What does she mean by white Zimbabweans? I don't think there's any white Zimbabweans. Chess.
So let's come together. Let's create a Zimbabwe. Let's create an Africa that is free of racism, bigotry, and hate. Now, I know there's some who are very upset because we do have some white people who are fringes of the society who remain very racist. Those elements, we hope, in due course, they will dwindle away, that they will wake up and repent and understand that this world belongs to all of us, that we must live and strive to build a better world for our children regardless of their skin color, that our children must live in a better world, in a world that is free from any discrimination in any way, shape or form, and that includes Zimbabwe. So in a nutshell, what is being done in Zimbabwe is something that's in the Constitution, whether I like it or not, whether I disagree with it or not.
Whether I like it or not, whether I disagree with it or not. She don't really like it. She don't really like it. But pay attention. It's chess. It's chess.
It is what.
Wait, brother, you on here? Oh dang, you got a lot of people on here. Y'all gotta ask me, how is it chess?
It is. Let's move forward. Let's support Zimbabwe.
Well, later.
In Zimbabwe's quest to have a united, peaceful, and prosperous Africa. Created, supported by both black people and white people.
All right.
Who are Zimbabweans, and any other friends of Zimbabwe who wish to join in this journey of building the Africa that we want. We are also asking our white brothers and sisters to understand.
So that hurt me a little bit. That hurt me a little bit, but look, again, it's chess. You gotta pay attention. It's chess.
And that Africa belongs to all of us, and I hope not only are they going to participate in the building of a prosperous Zimbabwe, but they're also going to participate in the building of a prosperous and peaceful Africa. They're going to participate in the building of the Africa that we want. I thank you.
Alright, okay. So this right here, this woman right here is a genius. So like I said, everybody, if you want to join the conversation, we on Discord. We live. It looks like there's 3 other people inside here. You got Thabo. Alright, yeah, so Thabo, Machiavelli. Oh, he in class, yeah. This dude was like, it's like next week already. And we got Thabo, we got Show, we got Machiavelli. Y'all heard that. Somebody asked me how this is chess. Somebody asked me how this is chess. Okay? Nobody gonna ask me that? Alright, so alright, so this is chess. How many people are there in Zimbabwe? The population of Zimbabwe. Oh, let me show the people on the on the screen. I'm a what's his face? How many people are there in Zimbabwe? 144 million. Okay?
For real?
Oh, sorry, my bad. 14 million. Sorry.
Oh, I'm about to say, what?
Yeah, 14 million.
Nigeria side.
I was there, my bad. 14 million. Now, the question is, how many white people are there in Zimbabwe? Right? Now, I want to pull this up, but I just looked it up earlier, and it's only 30,000. Okay?
That's a major college campus.
Yeah, exactly. That's a major college campus. 30,000 white folk. The population of Zimbabwe is 99.6% African. 99.6%. Oh, sorry, 99.6% black. Maybe there's like there's even less quote unquote colored Zimbabweans than 30,000. So maybe like 15,000, right? They cannot possibly genetically dominate Zimbabwe. They are going to die off as a population. There's no way that they are genetically threatening Zimbabwe at all. So in the long term, whatever they get to right now as individuals will do nothing for them. Particularly as Zimbabwe can limit how many Europeans come into the country. That's why it's chess. Because even if you say, hey, here's all this money, right? Here's the money, here's your recompensation. And again, the Zimbabweans are not even giving them any. They're fundraising it. The whites themselves are fundraising it, and it's a lot of money for 30,000 people. Well, it's not really that much money for 30,000 people. I was going to do the math, but you have $3 billion shared out with 30,000 people. I want to say that's around $100,000 each. I'm not too sure, but somebody else could do that math. Actually, let me try to pull out a calculator real quick fast. But $100,000 ain't even.
It's about 100 stacks right there.
Right, 100 stacks. All right, bet. So that's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, you're there. Oh my gosh, we're giving them $100,000. For losing their houses.
$100,000 right now?
Huh?
You know what I could do with $100,000 right now? That's 10 Bitcoin, man.
I got 10 Bitcoin. Well, what I'm saying, but look, like $100,000 for losing your house. $100,000 for losing your investments in an irrigation system.
Poetic justice.
Okay, you see? What I'm saying, $100,000 ain't nothing. If you were investing in irrigation systems, if you had a home or several houses.
Using that word too loosely, man.
All right. Well, I don't want. Well, look. See, my thing is this. At some point, we tend to take the African perspective, and that's good. You tend to speak from how we see it. But we technically see it as victims, if you will, right? But we tend to adapt that. But if you look at it from the standpoint of, here's this white boy who came all the way down to Africa and said, oh, I could build XYZ. And yes, it's on stolen land. Right? Yes, it's on stolen land. But if this white boy comes all the way from so on and so forth and builds this so on and so forth, or directs this so on and so forth, from their perspective, it's an investment. And I mean, in some respects, you might say, oh, well, I don't care about their perspective. That's fine. But I understand that they care about their perspective. And when you understand their perspective, you see where it's coming from. And where it's coming from is that, real talk, $100,000, and I mean, that's $100,000 per person. Obviously, there's children there who obviously didn't do whatever. But, $100,000 ain't nothing. You understand? It's not much. Not for losing everything that you've ever had.
Losing or the reclamation project?
Reclamation project, you say? I mean, look,
yeah.
I'm saying from your perspective as if from your perspective as somebody who goes to another land to make a living, to start a family and have kids and
Come on, now you romanticizing the hell out of this, man. Come on. Like white picket fence and shit.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna say. Look, they was doing some terrible things in Zimbabwe. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna say that they were. I'm not gonna say that they wasn't enslaving people and all that stuff. Of course they were. But but that's the thing with we have to realize with regards to white people is that what we see as bad, they don't really see as bad. So if we just look at it from our lens, right? From they came here, they did all these horrors. The trouble is this. Again, it goes back to the beginning of why in the world would you give them citizenship anyway? You know what I'm saying? As soon as you give them citizenship, you are protecting, you are legitimizing everything that happened before. You understand? Because you're putting them on equal level with the Africans there. But it's fine again because it's only 30,000 people of 14 million. They're already gone. 99.6% African origin. All the land returned to black folk already. They're fundraising their own money. They're fundraising their own money to pay themselves. So they could get out or they could do whatever they want to do. But whatever it may be, even if they stay, again, they're just 30,000 people. You can't do anything with 30,000 people in 14 million. And the 14 million got control of the government. You understand? You already won. You won. And you're just giving out a little bit of pocket change. And I mean, yeah, you might say Zimbabwe doesn't have that kind of change. Zimbabwe is underperforming as a country. Okay? Zimbabwe is underperforming as a country. Once, look at this. In fact, I'm looking at this thing right here. Dang, you see what I'm saying? I'm looking at this thing on the screen. I think it's on the screen, is it? Yeah. Look at that on the health. It says, according to the United Nations, average life expectancy for men was. Somebody guess the number. In 2006. 34. No, sorry, 37 for women. No, 37 for men, and 34 for women. The lowest in the world at the time. You understand?
Oh, so basically, you would be like a senior citizen.
According to you, I'm a citizen. I'm a senior citizen already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's validated now.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit, you know. But that's what I'm saying. It says since then it's recovered from 2010 to 2015, 53 and 54 for men and women, respectively. But we have to understand that this is a game of chess, and what it's worth, like we winning, like we won this game. We won this game. You know. So what do you guys think?
About what?
About Chihombori's like this is a win, right? This is a W, right?
At least from what I know about Zimbabwe. Somebody else?
Oh yeah, somebody
Ramses.
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah,
What's up?
Y'all asked me to go to the voice channel.
Oh yeah. You were talking to General. I was like, I didn't think only was gonna see your comments. That's why.
Oh,
I was just saying that they're sharing the money among 4,000 white farmers.
4,000.
About $800,000 per family.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You said 800,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that means that.
I ran the numbers like 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Falling together, yeah.
Yeah, per family. Yeah. Then each family member might have 8 people average. Who knows? Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it may be. The reality is that's $800,000 might be it might seem substantial, but again. It's when you're in war, right? When you're at war, you either win or you lose. No, matter of fact, it's not that you either win or you lose, but toward the end, you both lose. You understand? I mean, it depends on how you do with the fight. But you go into the treaty, you go into the agreement, and if you go into the agreement saying we're going to recompense you, then that's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here and hop back on. I'm gonna go into the app. Sorry about that.
You said what?
I'm gonna hop off and hop right back on.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying to you guys. That if you don't, like that's what we have to understand as a people. That when you go to war, if you win, I mean, you get to the negotiation table, and then you have to decide what whether you want to end the war now or later, and if the terms of surrender on the opponent's side or on your side, the terms of surrender are according to what you agreed on. And how good you fought, how well you fought. The Africans, the Zimbabweans made a decision that they were going to recompensate the Wazungu for the improvements on the land. And if it comes up to $800,000 per head, right? That's what it is. And the reality is this, that they're not even going to pay. Again, if the white farmers are going to fundraise, they're going to GoFundMe. And the money's going to go to the Zimbabweans, and the Zimbabweans are going to then possibly, maybe, distribute it to these white farmers. But again, that's not even African money. It's not even that. It's the world. It's the Europeans paying again. Come on. Again, I take this as a W. I mean, and again, if you have these white citizens, that's on you. What we have to do is we have to say to ourselves, can we build a nation and not have any white citizens and not have any foreign citizens, right? And that's going to be tougher than you think because the foreigners are everywhere. But if you decide to have a nation with foreigners, then yeah, you're going to treat them like that. That's it. But anyway, I don't know if I have anything else to say. Anybody else got anything to say? You said yeah?
Nah, you talking about, I'll take this as a W, like you out there knocking down threes and layups.
Well, I mean, look. Well, look. I mean, it's a W if you want to join the global economy. Okay? If you want to join the global economy, it costs African people nothing. Right? It costs African people nothing. The white people are less than 0.4% of the population. Right? They're less than 0.4% of the, they're less than 1% of the population. It costs the government nothing. They get back into the global economy. You know? Like there's really no L. White people want to pay white people for the land for the property they lost. That's on white people.
Well, explain to me again. I know I read it a couple weeks ago, but I didn't. I'm trying to grasp the concept of them seeking funding to pay the white farmers outside of Zimbabwe. How does that work necessarily? Is it that the funding they get will just be money that Zimbabwe won't be getting from other nations, or they're funneling it through other nations directly to the farmers, so Zimbabwe doesn't get to touch it, or what? Like, I'm not really understanding that concept.
Yeah. Thabo, you gonna say something?
I actually wanted to ask the same question. How are they going to get the money?
Well, all right. So yeah, but like that's the thing right here. So government has the sources of revenue, right? Sources of revenue can be trade, can be taxes, can be so on and so forth.
I understand that, but at least from hearing what she was saying, the money's not coming from Zimbabwe. So like from their own finances, they're fundraising from other nations. How does that work exactly? That's my question.
Well, I mean, that could be complicated because, like, let's say it's possible. It's possible. Like the worst case scenario is that they are going to borrow from a bank, right? That's what I would surmise, huh?
Just back in the hole again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the worst case scenario. That's not what she said. But that would be the worst case scenario. What it sounds like is these people are just going around panhandling in the name of Zimbabwe. Right? I think toward the end she said they're going to ask the British government. So the British government is probably going to give a no interest, loan maybe. But again, it would just be these white folk going out finding having the responsibility to appeal to the world on behalf of Zimbabwe
for aid, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So foreign aid directed toward them.
Okay, so
yeah.
Again, where is the W in this?
The W was that with 99%.
Well, we were 99% before this came out. Like, it didn't just jump up to 99% after the story came out.
Well, but because if these white people get a bunch of money and invest in the economy of Zimbabwe, right?
Please don't tell me. Go ahead. Let me hear
I'm not. Look, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Well, here's the thing, right? Let's go back to it. The revenue of Zimbabwe is $3.5 trillion. Right? The sorry, $3.5 billion. Billion, yeah. $3.5 billion. Right? The budget is $5 billion. Okay? That means
$5 billion for a whole country? What the hell?
Exactly. That means that Zimbabwe
Smaller companies in the U.S. make more than that.
Yo, you see what I'm saying though? Look, Zimbabwe is being terribly mismanaged. That's what's going.
New York City probably make more than that.
Of course, New York City make more than that.
I forgot who I'm talking to. I'm talking to old New York dude over here.
What are you trying to say?
These New Yorkers be cocky as hell.
Yeah.
Arrogant.
Yeah, but look, this is like 14 million people. I don't know how much the population in New York. I feel like it might be around that too. Matter of fact, but no, actually I don't know. I thought it was only 2 million to be honest. But let me actually look that up.
There's more than 2 million people in New York City. I know that.
I don't remember. No, that's what I'm saying. You know. Let's see, the New York City population. I'm just going to look at it on my other screen. Because it might be either 11 million or... Oh, okay, 8 million. 8 million. Yeah, 8 million. I keep saying billion, million, trillion. I keep messing up. All right. 8 million New York people in New York City, right? So that's about half the population of Zimbabwe, right? But what's the budget of New York City? The New York City budget is...
in the billions for sure.
$88 billion.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's the budget. I wonder what the revenue was, because I know that thing was obscured. But you know, it's like you don't. Oh yeah, $69 billion. So it's also technically hemorrhaging. You know, a little bit. Probably because of COVID, but $70 billion revenue, right? This is something that should be in Africa. Okay. This is something that should be the case in Africa or inside of Zimbabwe, that they're taking in $70 billion. They're not doing that. Zimbabwe needs a lot of development. One, it needs a lot of if you will, not foreign investment, but it needs a lot of investment. And you know, the thing is this, that we have to understand that we could be foreign investment. You know, the trouble is that we sit on our hands too much. And then complain about things going bad in Africa. You know? And of course it's going to go bad in Africa if we're sitting on our hands. You know, as I said before, peace is the fruit of activity, not of sleep. You know, that was in the worship earlier too. Peace is the fruit of activity, not of sleep. You know, so we have to be active if we want the kind of peace that we want. But again, if it's only $3.5 billion coming into Zimbabwe, right? And therefore they can't pay no $3.5 billion, right? That's understandable. You know? And unfortunately these white folk, you know, we don't necessarily want them per se, but the reality is this, that if they are there, and if they are trying to develop, you know, even if it's only developing for themselves, to be honest, right? It don't even matter because they're going to die off. You know? Like, they're going to die off.
Why not expedite it? FedEx.
Well, I mean, look, again, that's the trouble. If you have citizens, like, again, you messed up, like essentially white folk are playing chess too. Once they got citizenship, it's kind of like you don't really kill your citizens like that.
The lights off.
You know?
Tell that to Trump.
Yeah, matter of fact, though, like, you know, 190,000 dead from COVID. You can just release COVID over there.
Come on now.
But for real though, like you don't already messed up by thing. And I think it's possible that part of that compensation. Well, no, maybe not. I don't know. But again, like, you know, it's a lot of like it's a lot to say. You know, you don't want. You know, I mean, it's kind of awkward. I mean, unfortunately, like here's where you could say there's an L in the sense of, you know, if it's only 4,000 families getting this money, that means that for somehow or another, 4,000 white folk was ruling over.
Wealth gap.
Yeah, exactly. 4,000 white folk was ruling over Zimbabweans. Well, I guess a lot of Zimbabweans fled though, right? Yeah, it's possible that only 4,000 stayed, right? Or maybe not even 4,000 stayed. It's just possible that only 4,000 getting paid. You know?
No, it's just the families that own farms and lost their investments.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing right here. It says mass emigration after the fall of Rhodesia. So there were around 220,000 in 1980. 220,000 in 1980 for whites. And
When they go to South Africa.
Yeah, probably, right? But 200, yeah. So and then they've gradually just kept lessening. Either they went back to, either went to the United Kingdom, South Africa, or Australia.
Australia.
Yeah. So yeah. It looks like most of them went back to the United Kingdom. Some went to South Africa. Some went to Australia, and the rest, whatever. I don't know how much. And apparently Zimbabwe and Black Zimbabweans were growing in population rapidly. So like we might think 220,000 is not that. It means that there weren't that many, but it possible that there was a lot. It was closer to the number of black people there. But again, that's what it is. Like 4,000 getting the land. 4,000 getting money, and then unfortunately, yes, the expectation is that they're going to reinvest that into Zimbabwe, and of course they're probably going to reinvest that into the way that puts them in charge. But in this new economy where the government has a lot more say, where the government has a lot more to do or whatever, what that eventually looks like in any country is essentially, it sounds bad, of course, but what it means essentially is that eventually, essentially they're just foreign investors, but they're foreign investors who cannot stay, pretty much.
Yeah.
No,
Mugabe's not coming through that door no more.
You said Mugabe's not coming through that door?
Yeah, so we'd like to see.
No, I mean, like, when I say cannot stay, I mean like, but because you're not, like essentially the way how Zimbabwe can do it is just limit any more white people coming in. So if you, eventually the managers and the CEOs are gonna be black, or things of that nature, like the way how human dynamicism works is that you're gonna need black managers eventually, because you're just running out of white folk. And then when you have these black managers, they can either become the CEOs, or they can branch out into competing organizations, competing businesses, and then buy out these white businesses, and so on and so forth. So because again, it's just, you're just so outnumbered that eventually everything should go back into black hands. So whatever they may get right now, whatever they may be able to accomplish right now, and that's within the legal system of Zimbabwe, right, which would limit the exploitation, which would tax them at whatever rates it wants to tax them, if they stay, right? And with those taxes increases the revenue. With that increased revenue, increased services. With those increased services, you see what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot going on. Now, obviously, I'm not somebody who likes foreign investment, obviously, but or not white foreign investment, but again, as Chihombori says, it is what it is. At some point in warfare, you have to realize what's going on. You just got to realize what's going on and just take it for what it is. Like under ideal circumstances, you won't have any white Zimbabweans. Under ideal circumstances, you won't have any white people coming in and whatnot, right? But these are not. But this is already settled. So you just look at the opportunity and take it for what it is. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like I say, go back. We got to go back and review the general rules of warfare. We got to go back and review the general rules of warfare, because that's where we'll pick up on this kind of stuff. I just realized that nobody's viewing this. Anyway, how do I know that? Anyway, but all right, whatever. I think that's all I can say about this. Hope everybody. Wait, you guys have anything to say?
Nah.
All right. All right. Yeah, exactly. It's
I'm actually curious why you think if they're gonna invest in the country that they're not gonna have control over time, or more people would come, or that the big Zimbabwe government would disallow white immigration. What do you think that?
Well, again, that's the thing. Realistic.
Not there anymore on it.
Yeah, exactly. I look. I feel you guys. Look, the reality is this: that anything can go in any direction. That's what government is about. Government. What we have to realize is that government means that things can go any direction at any time. Just the same way how we say that white folk, whatever they give you, they can take away. It's the same with any other government. So everything can go in every direction. I would expect that a population of 99.6% would say to themselves, you know what? Let's not try to get our colonization going again. But that might not be the case. At the moment, though, it's perfectly advantageous. But again, anything can go any direction. Once upon a time, America didn't allow black immigrants. Once upon a time, America didn't allow Latino immigrants. You understand? But times change, sentiments change, everything changes. These same Zimbabweans, if they're rich and wealthy, they can influence government to change its policies. They can lower the taxes. They can have conservative parties. They can even fund liberal parties. Like anything can happen. So it's history is not. I mean, government is not set in stone. It's not written down. It's a constant process. That's what nationhood and nation building is about. It's a constant process. What this is for us, if we were serious about nationalism, is a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity for Africans of the diaspora to say, you know what? This is a land that I can invest myself in. You understand? This is a new economy coming up that's going to need a lot. It's going to have a lot of competition. It's going to have room for us to be. Well, if you wanted to be like a capitalist, you could. This is where you could be a capitalist. You understand?
I got another question for you. Do you know who Bobby Wright is?
Of course I do.
Yeah. So I got his book on me right now. He says.
No, that's the question right there. That's the question.
That's it. Yeah,
I'm joking.
So he says something though that I want you to engage.
Yeah.
He says no white nation in the world encourages black immigration, but there is a great effort throughout the world to integrate Africa. There is no evidence that the black and white races can live in close proximity to each other in peace without whites attempting to oppress and exterminate the blacks. So what do you think about that in relation to Zimbabwe?
Again, it's 99.6%.
Brother, that number, you keep talking about like strength in numbers, bro. Look at the whole continent. We are made up of the continent, yet only a few white people control it. Look at South Africa, bro.
No, but South Africa is different because South Africa is 14%. Oh no, sorry, 8%.
Bro.
Right?
But how did colonization start in the first place?
Exactly.
Was it all white people coming up and showing up on the shores at the same time, or was it just a little bit?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that was exactly that's the case when. Like, that's the case. Well, we have to understand the colonization process. That's a really important question. The colonization process was a lot easier. Well, it's a lot easier. It would be a lot easier to colonize pre-colonial Africa than post-colonial Africa. I mean, internally, for these disarmed Zimbabweans to take over 14 million people is much different from several European groups taking over different disparate, ethnic groups. It's a complete.
85% Christian though. And if you look at Christian doctrine and the way it makes black people docile, mentally, I think you might have a population that is ready for colonization. What do you think?
From 30,000 people, again, it would be a surprise. I mean, like again, the world is not set in stone. So if possibly white people are plotting and planning to take over Zimbabwe.
And we talk about what? We forget the people over there in the Far East.
Well, but they're not in Zimbabwe though.
Are you talking about China?
Basically.
China has military bases in Zimbabwe right now.
Yeah, so I know what you're talking about, man.
No, in terms of numbers, they're not in China.
Bro, you are really, it's not, I think you're thinking
the size, like the numbers. You have key figures in a place that have the capital and power and means of doing it. You don't need a whole onslaught or ships full of Chinese or white people to come to the nation to take control like that. You don't need that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you mean by colonization. Like if you're talking about foreign invasion, right? That's always a possibility. Foreign invasion is always a possibility. That's a possibility for America. You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to tell you that foreign invasion isn't a possibility. You know, you should always expect foreign invasion. That's just how the globe operates. But as far as Zimbabweans and white Zimbabweans are concerned, you know, these 30,000 people don't have a chance at political ambition. The question of
How can you say that though?
The question of Christianity and docility, it doesn't really factor into the docility of Africans via Christianity is almost mythical, in the sense of, realistically speaking, what black people are made docile about is the military strength of Wazungu. You know, because this is military strength. Hold on a second.
What I mean by docility is that, historically speaking, Europeans have used the very same Bible to justify what they call patriotism, where they bomb countries, kill presidents, colonize countries. They use that same Bible with the black folk, and they say, oh, well, Jesus is white, we're white, therefore we should run the world, and you should look at us like we're in charge, and you should turn the other cheek, thou shalt not kill. All the thou shalt nots apply to you, but they don't apply to us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, you know, everything, when you have force on your side, it's like the other one where it says people are rich in excuses. No, it's like earlier in the worship we were talking about how every man is rich in excuses, you know, to justify their prejudices, instincts, and whatever. The reality is this: that Christianity is just used. It's just used to justify the fact that you are in fact helpless against some other force. You understand? It's like if somebody's punching me in the face, their larger man is punching me in the face, then I might tell you, well, I'm a Christian, that's why I'm not hitting him back. But the reality is, it's because he's just a larger man than me. You understand? Like it doesn't even, like, if I do fight him back, I'm just gonna get beat the shit out of. You know what I mean? So I could intellectually justify it, but the reality is it goes back into force and power. And the thing with having a country is that you control the borders. You understand? And so if you control the borders and you control the industries within that country, right? Then essentially these people within your country are disarmed. You know? They would have to get a sizable portion of Zimbabwe, of black Zimbabwe, to betray black people for white leadership. Right? And at the moment they have no reason to. Now they might have a reason per se if these white people are really effective at economy, because what it would tell, you know, because then they might be able to convince other black people that yes, they can in fact, you know, be the economic overlords. You know? But again, this is why I would stress for us as a people that we have to get active in Zimbabwe and other parts of this world, and show our people, because the reality is this, that if we get active anywhere on this planet where we are showing economic leadership, yes, we will also get political leadership there too. So it's not to say that white people cannot get political leadership if they show economic leadership. That is the way how the world spins.
I feel what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, we have to be the ones to go down and invest.
If you're not doing it, if white people get $3.5 billion and invest in first-class businesses in Zimbabwe, yes, they're probably going to get some political clout from that. You know, I was talking about, there's this video of this sister in the Gambia. No, the sister talking about in the Gambia, there's this like Brazilian man, right? Sounds like he's not even a black man, who employs, let's say, 30,000 people or 40,000 people canning mangoes or something like that, right? If he wants political power, right, he can get it. If he wants citizenship, he can get it. Because he's doing something productive with his life in an African country. And the African government is looking at him like, you know what, this is an asset to our country. If you are an asset anywhere, you get better treatment, of course. And so it behooves us as Africans, particularly Africans in the diaspora, to not be an asset in Africa and then critique and complain when white folk are assets. And say, why are these white people getting anything when they are being assets to that country? How much money does Zimbabwe collect in taxes from me? Nothing. How much if these people make if they have a $1 billion revenue business in Zimbabwe and they're taxed at 300 and they're taxed at 30%, right? Then they're getting, then the Zimbabwean government is getting $300 million from them. And then you expect Zimbabwe to say, Oni, you who give me nothing should have a bigger political voice than this guy who's giving me $300 million. And knowing full well that the economy is open for any investment from any people. And then if I'm sitting my black ass over here, you know, and saying, shit, why you guys giving to them Zimbabwe? Why you guys giving to them white boys? That's on me. That's my problem. That's my fault. You know, and the thing that we have to understand too is that a lot of black immigrants like a lot of the black diaspora in Africa, it's understood that most of them are providing jobs and providing businesses and are productive people, and for that they're getting citizenship. You know, sometimes they build diaspora cities or diaspora villages, and they integrate with the community, and they also give a lot of opportunity to the people down there, and they're creating opportunity for us. This is something that, you know, they can get that political clout. And you expect them to get that political clout. And again, it's something that happens everywhere and anywhere in this world, and this is why I stress this stuff. You know, like brother, I gotta like you know, Machiavelli's not gonna like this, but I gotta push my book. But you know, I stress this stuff in my book. I say, look, black people. I say, if if we make ourselves known economically around the continent, we will have that political power we're seeking. But until then, if these white farmers, these 4,000 white farmers decide, if even a handful of them decide we're going to make ourselves economically buoyant, yeah, they're going to get something from it. Of course they're going to get something from it. Or they might get something from it. But if they get something from it, then don't be surprised. You know, the world is built on reciprocity, or the African society is built on reciprocity between giving and receiving. If they do in fact give to Zimbabwe, they may well receive. And I understand that they don't deserve it, you might say. And I agree with you. But I also understand the laws of balance, the laws of harmony, if you will. And unfortunately, it is the case that if that trade exists, and trade can be balanced. You know, and I look, I might be partial to the idea of, you know what, let's just, you know, they should build something, or they shouldn't get anything, they should just get a bullet to their head. Okay, Zimbabwe is trying to get out of an economic rut right now, and if nobody's looking to invest, that's it.
Yeah, it's disgraceful, but they had no choice.
I mean, look, and the thing is this: they're not even doing anything. They're not even paying. They're not. And again, the reason why it all comes back to They gave these people citizenship when they shouldn't have, but they did. They gave them citizenship, one, and two, they agreed to recompensate them for the property that they lost, or the investments that they made, or the property they lost. The property being irrigation systems, the property being homes, the property being factories or whatever. The farming equipment, the mechanical equipment, all of that. They decided, okay, we're going to recompensate you for that. But that's what came about when they visited in Lancaster. When they decided in Lancaster to stop the war. You understand? Now you could have ran the war a little longer, killed a lot more of them. You understand? Or killed them all off. But it seems like we were not capable. And the reason why we weren't capable to kill off 220,000 white folk, for whatever reason, or how many of it, is because we, the diaspora, we, the rest of Africa, did not help enough. So it all comes back to what were we doing in this war? What are we doing in this war? When as Zimbabwe is being rebuilt, like brother was saying that it's a tiny country, it's a tiny economy, right? We're not having an active role in it. If we're not having an active role in it, and it gets back on its feet, you damn right you might be left out. Because who's going to include you? Who's going to include you? If you weren't there. You're going to be like, why can't I get citizenship in Zimbabwe? Why should you get citizenship in Zimbabwe if when Zimbabwe needs you, you're sitting there deciding, oh, well, this country ain't doing what I want it to do. Why should the country do what you want it to do when it's trying to survive? When it's hemorrhaging, it's bleeding, and none of and very little of the African diaspora wants to, I don't know, put a band-aid on it, I don't know. Whatever you do for hemorrhage. Yeah, y'all see I'm exposing my medical training, right? My survival skills. But
you do know that we couldn't because of U.S. sanctions, right?
U.S. sanctions saying that you can't think. Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to lift up the U.S. sanctions. And the thing is this, that you can't.
When sanctions are lifted, then diaspora can invest. But the reason Zimbabwe is where it is right now is because U.S. sanctions crippled Zimbabwe.
Exactly. That's
Mugabe did what he did in 2001.
That's why there's two things. Well, one is that. Well, first off, look at this. Zimbabwe. I mean, I don't have it on the screen. Maybe I should put it on the screen. But Zimbabwe is 166th biggest economy. You know what I'm saying? In the world, like 166. Hyperinflation, and yeah, if you say the U.S. crippled it, that's exactly what you would expect. That's exactly what you'd expect. If the U.S. is crippling this economy, that's exactly what you would expect. There's 186 countries, 189 by some counts, 193 in other counts, and Zimbabwe is in the bottom like 20. Okay. And yeah, the U.S. is crippling it. That's why they're trying to lift the sanction. And we're like, oh man, why are you doing that to lift the sanctions? Why are you doing that to lift the sanctions? Why do you want the sanction lifted if your people are starving and dying by the thousands?
I think people understand. Understand that Zimbabwe had to do that. But it is disgraceful.
Disgraceful to save lives?
In a historical sense.
Look, disgraceful to save lives.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you're gonna take the land from the farmers, if you want to play chess, you have to anticipate the move of your opponent. So before you even take the land away from the farmers, you have to know that they're going to put sanctions on you. Sanctions were put on the white South Africa during apartheid. Sanctions have been put on Israel. All sorts of different things have happened. Sanctions have been put on Iran. So geopolitically, if you make a move and you're trying to help your people out by saying, okay, these people stole the land, you're going to have to understand and plan for a decade of sanctions.
Yeah, but
if you don't plan for that, you're not playing chess.
Yeah, that's on Mugabe though. That's not on the current leader.
No, that's on Mugabe. That's all Mugabe.
Yeah, exactly. That's on Mugabe. But and the thing is, I'm okay with, like, I perfectly understand not giving thing back. I mean, not paying for them. But the reality is, like I said, for every joy there's a price to be paid. So unless you have, like you said, expect the sanctions and then work around them. But because you didn't work around them, people are starving, people are suffering. Yeah, they might actually beg for white rule. You understand? They might, we go back to the warship, if you will. At one point they said, one of the proverbs was, everything is caused, every phenomenon is caused by the complementary, right? If we as Africa's children do not help an African country, the children of other continents will. Or the people of Africa, of certain African countries, will beg for the people of other countries to come and help them. And then we're going to say, oh, that's disgraceful, that's shameful, why are you begging these other people? Because we are not doing what we need to be doing. Do you understand? So this is where we are as a people. We have to think about what we are going to do about the situation. A part of war, a part of intel, is to look at the world, see what's going on, and then see where you can fit in, what you can do. If you continue to do nothing, because the reality is this, quote unquote, if it's the American government, doing these sanctions, black folk in America could have lifted those sanctions. Specifically, since we think that they're so powerful, we're so powerful in America. They could have been rallying the government, petitioning the government all day, all year, putting that as a part of their platform to lift the sanctions on black nations.
But I think we all know that black people are not united in the United States.
Of course, this is why it goes back to what is our shortcomings as a people. I'm saying to myself, I want to make an organization where we are better, we are more politically organized than we are today. We want political organizations in every one of these countries. Okay? We want political organizations in every one of these African countries so that we can stop playing games. So that we no longer have the excuse that where people are not organized. But again, the reason why we have those excuses is because those organizations that we need are not there. So what we should all have been saying is, let's organize now. Let's organize. Let's organize today. We're not organized. So a lot of the problems in Africa relates to how much we are not organized as a people, even outside of Africa. Today, if we think that some policy is not good in Jamaica, what do we do about it? Nothing. What can we do about it? Nothing. Because we refuse to organize in Jamaica. Garvey left the model of international black organization. When are we going back to this?
I'm with you 100%.
So you got to be with me 110%. And by 110%, I mean you should be saying, look, Oni, let's start organizing. Let's have some chapters. See, because the thing is this, the trouble, one of the things that I used to be a little bit like one time I think Umar Johnson came to the organization I was in, right? I was in an organization at one point, and Umar Johnson came to speak, and he was like, we gotta organize, and I said to myself, I'm tired of hearing black folks say we gotta organize and not mention what organization they part of, not mention what organization they think we should be a part of. Because see, if you're in an organization, you're supposed to say, join this organization. You understand? When Stokely when Kwame Ture was going around, Kwame Ture was saying, join the AAPRP. Or you can join whatever organization you want. But I'm telling you, I think you should join the AAPRP. You understand? When I was younger, I used to visit the AAPRP. I used to visit the UNIA. I used to visit all these places. Malcolm X said, he's always going to be in an organization. Right after the NOI ended, or a little after the NOI ended, he started his own organization. You understand? MLK Jr. was the leader of an organization. Kwame Ture, always in an organization too. But today, what we do and this is why I was going up against. Well, that's why I was going about Nearly Fuller Jr. Is that we tried to be, oh well, we're on code, we're on code. You understand? Instead of we in the organization, we have political demands. So I mean, like I said, brother, if you're serious, if you want to be 100%, you gotta be on this organization tip. Say, look, only let's do a real organization. And unfortunately, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I mean, I don't see the only reason why I'm a little uncomfortable about organization is because I need an organization to work and operate so that I could justify us having a war budget. You know, we have to know what we want as a warrior class so that we could have a war budget. Because right now I was thinking there's a brother on the Discord who's like, hey, I want to do some organizing in this part of the country, in this part of his the country, in his country in Africa, right? And I'm saying to myself, look, because I don't have a war budget, I'm gonna go in my own pockets, and I'm gonna say, look, dude, you could go out, you could buy some of these. He said the food down there costs $1.50, $1.50 for a good meal. So I said, look, man, if you get 10 people in a restaurant every week, right, for 2 months, right, that's 80 people, 80 dinners, $1.50. That's $120 for me, right? I could send you $120 easy. Now I don't want to dip in my own pocket to spend $120 on other people's lunch, right, other people's dinner. But if we were in an organization and we had a war budget, I could easily say we allocated go get those people food. But I can't do that. I mean, I could do it. I could put out $120. I don't care. But the point being, we have to be serious about organizing, and we have to sit down and set some guidelines and set some rules so that we have an organization where this brother could go out, organize, and form a cadre. Because 10 people is a good cadre, right? Form a cadre of political activity in whatever country he's in. You understand? Or even if we here in America, or we there in Jamaica, we form a cadre, a critical cadre, right? That's doing some critical work, right? And organizing the masses. But of course, we want a bigger budget so that these people get paid and all that. They could be full-time organizers. We want this, but we're not doing it. We're just doing this on code stuff. And then we wondering why Zimbabwe got to do this. If Zimbabwe had a significant and powerful Pan-African organization in its borders, it would say, F you guys, what we're going to do is we're going to break these sanctions. We're going to engage with Kenya. We're going to engage with Zambia. We're going to engage with the Pan-Africans in the other countries all over Africa. And we're going to restore our African economy, notwithstanding the global economy. Easy. Easy. But we sleeping. And then we like, oh man, they shouldn't have done that. So what should they have done?
I feel you, man. I feel you, brother.
Yeah, look, we gotta be serious about this future, the future of our people. We have to be serious about the future of our people, because right now, if somebody asks me, are we serious? Like, do we want to be liberated? What does liberation mean for us? I'm going to tell you right now, we don't want it. I do not see a sincere effort on the part of enough Africans. I see a lot of people who are studied, who are scholastic, who know what, who say what should be done and what should, I do not see the people who are doing it. And I'm not saying that there's not being done, because again, we have diaspora villages all over Africa. There's like a little Garvey somewhere, little Garvey town or something, or Garvey town somewhere. There's a lot of good stuff going on the continent, but a lot of us are ignoring it. All for nothing. Like even right now, as soon as I get off this call, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm one of those people, but as soon as I get off this call, I'm probably gonna go on Twitter and debate whether polygamy was, like who cares? Like whether polygamy was African or not, was it foreign, or was it in ancient Egypt, was it not ancient Egypt? Oh no, like so far we figuring out it's in the upper class. It was in the upper classes of Egypt, but it wasn't really common. Like who cares?
I got a question for you. Do you have any investments in Africa right now?
Do I have any investments in Africa right now? I was supposed to travel to Africa earlier this year, obviously. That's so no, I don't have any, because I was gonna go to make those investments.
How long ago did you write your book?
How long ago did I actually book?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get to the booking
No,
process.
How long ago did you write your book?
Oh, write my book. Oh, I said, did I actually book? I don't know. It might have been last year. Why?
Last year?
Yeah. Well, I wrote 3 books, but my last book is from last year, I think. I think 2019.
You wrote your first book.
I feel like it might have been 2017.
Okay.
Wow, what's up?
No, I'm just curious. So, because I know we're on like YouTube and whatnot. That's how I saw you. And I've engaged with you before, but because we're on a public platform, I try to keep things mum. But I have investments in Africa, so. But I agree with what you're saying. A lot of the diaspora is not. So.
Yeah, I mean, look. I agree with. My trip to Africa was going to be bomb. I was trying to keep it quiet too. My trip was supposed to be pretty damn good. You know, like meeting some pretty heavy hitters, but it's not gonna happen. You know, that trip is canceled. But that's what it is. Like sometimes you want to keep your investments quiet, and I understand that. But again, that's the thing too. It's like it's not. Investments is nice. Investments is good, right? That's a very important thing to do. I don't really see anything wrong with that. What I would say is we understand that it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of organizing and organization on the part of us as a people, you know. And you know, investments here and there are good, but you know, we already know that Wazungu has investments here or there too. You know, the objective of any people is to outdo the other people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so what we are doing is nothing near outdoing the other people. Okay? The global economy says we're going to sanction Zimbabwe. Right? How many of us sanctioned the global economy? I'll wait.
We could, and Africa could tomorrow if they wanted to, but they don't have the political will or the guts to. They don't understand their own resources below the ground. There's certain things that I could say about how you could do that, but again, this is public, so I don't want to be talking like that out here.
It's good, man. Look, the point being this, that you say we don't have the political will. Does the white man say that? Does he say? No, I'm saying, does he say I don't have the political will to sanction Zimbabwe?
No, the white man doesn't say that because the white man does have the political will.
Exactly. There's a huge gap, a huge difference. You understand? That if we are saying to ourselves we don't have the political will to do something basic, you know, if we see that Zimbabwe is suffering and then we make excuses for why we can't help Zimbabwe,
that's not an excuse. That's just the facts on the ground. If I was the Lord of Africa, we would be doing sanctions, but I'm not the Lord of Africa. Maybe one day though, we'll see.
All right, sure. Well, just keep me in mind. Well, it depends. You know, how much do you dislike me? You know, then you can forget me.
You're a child of Africa. I have nothing against you.
All right, good. Well, then you keep me in mind. All right, you know what I'm saying? Quite a few people dislike me, so it's okay if they forget me. You know what I'm saying? Some people lose sleep over me. You know.
I'm actually on here just because I'm trying to find out what people are doing. Honestly.
Oh, what people are doing?
I'm very disappointed in the state of just the state of the world when it comes to black folks, especially black men. I'm doing my own organizing myself, and the caliber of black men that I've run across is very disheartening.
Oh, of course.
These are guys who just want to watch ESPN, and again, we're in a public forum, so I'm being careful what I say.
Damn, bro, I like it.
It's video games and ESPN with these dudes, and I'm just like, you don't want to build a black family, you don't want to start a business, you don't even want to analyze the problem to understand what's happening in the world right now. While someone can kneel on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, if you're too scared to like read about why that's happening, and man.
Yeah, I mean, Without a doubt, a lot of these black men are chumps. No disrespect to black men, but yeah, a lot of them are chumps. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. But yeah, I mean, like that's pretty much what I would say. I what I'm doing is I wrote these books. I want to get these books out because, again, you know, if people want to know why a book is so important, is because when it comes to like it's like there's revolution and resolution, you know, and the reality on the ground is this, that, you know, if we look at Zimbabwe, for instance, even if you have the land and you have the government, if you don't allocate your resources intelligently, you're going to be looking for foreign investment regardless. You know, so you have to build the universities, you have to build the structures, you have to develop the economy, and develop the economy intelligently, and that's really why you would focus on books and those kind of stuff beforehand, because you want political consciousness to go out there readily, you know. And like, why? What does that mean? What would that mean exactly? Because, like, let's say you brought up the church before. One of the things that you pick up on, if you, I didn't study religion per se, but, you know, if you glance at religion even temporarily, you will see that they are about war. Like, they're directions for war, you know, and how to engage in war and how to be a solid ethnic group. You know, it's about, huh?
That's what the Old Testament is about. The Bible. I've read the Old Testament several times.
Yeah, it's about these children of Israel, if you will, dominating other groups in Palestine, and slaughtering them wholesale if they didn't, you know, like making sure they slaughtered them. Like I heard one lecture. It was like a political lecture, a black political lecture, but they were talking about the Bible hard body, and they were saying that one of these Christian leaders, I mean, not Christian leaders, Jewish leaders, was trying to spare some of these children and whatever, and their deity, I can't remember, Jehovah or something, but their deity was saying, no, kill everybody, even the animals.
Yeah, that's the story of Saul.
Yeah, kill everybody, and if you don't do that,
to spare the Amalekites.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, if you don't do that, you effing up. But that's a lesson in war. You know, they have several tomes and books on how to wage war against other people. You know, I live by some of these people. I see their bookshelves. They have several tomes and books on how to dominate other people. The same with the Arabs. The Arabs have a story. I remember hearing about it. They have a story about how Muhammad was, like, severely outnumbered, but using subterfuge, using deceit, using flanks, using all that kind of stuff, he was able to overcome even large enemies. You know, this is why literature and books are important, is because you want to communicate to people how other people in the past have done things effectively, so that you can learn lessons on how to do things. One of the stories I relate, and I'll try to cut this off, but one of the stories I relate is the story of Maurice Bishop. Maurice Bishop gets a hold of the government, improves the economy rapidly. And here's the thing I want to tell you about Grenada. So Grenada is a really small country too. Like, very, very small. Grenada is...
They got invaded, though.
Huh?
They got invaded by the U.S.
Exactly. 111,000. And so, why did they get invaded by... 111,000, yeah. Why did they get invaded by the U.S.? Maurice Bishop is bragging about how ABC, you know, the same channel that shows Blackish and all that, right? ABC is letting in journalists to study and make sure that Grenada doesn't have a military. And Maurice Bishop is showing them around like, no, this is not a military. This is just an airport. This is an air base. And no, look, this is a medical school, right? And then when the U.S. invades, they say, oh, they had medical students. They had white medical students, and that's what we're coming in for. Maurice Bishop was giving ABC a tour himself, for them to you know, showing them how militarily uncapable they were, because they were coming in saying, oh, we think you have satellites, we think you have we think you have this military equipment, we think you have that military equipment, and he's like, no, we don't have that military equipment, look, it's just this, no, it's just a medical school. And then Ronald Reagan used that, what ABC was gathering, right? They used that intel against Maurice Bishop and kill that man. But this is why you have to study the past, because you're going to make the same mistakes, because the mistakes are documented. But if you don't read, you're going to fall into the traps.
Yeah, our ancestors made a lot of mistakes.
All the time.
I tell this to people. Garvey made mistakes. Malcolm X made mistakes. MLK made mistakes. Fred Hampton made mistakes. A lot of them made mistakes, but they left us a blueprint. And with my personal opinion, I think we already have enough books. We don't need more books. I've got a library full of the books by Amos Wilson, by Bobby Wright, by all these guys, Francis Cress Wilson. We know what to do, and we know what mistakes they made. It's time for us to execute.
Yeah.
I'm all about execution.
Look, I agree with you. I would agree with you if I saw any books that I liked like that. I mean, if I saw enough books that I liked. I think one of the troubles with us as a black people is that we pay too much attention to these American books, this American literature. Now, we're kind of getting a little off the topic, but like you just said, those three people you just named, Amos Wilson, Bobby E. Wright, Francis Cress Welsing, all psychologists, all American, none of them revolutionary. By revolutionary, sorry, let me say by revolutionary, I mean none of them acquired land, none of them ran nations. None of them were discussing nations. All of them were trying to find some sort of solution in America.
No, they weren't doing that. You could say maybe that. You could say that about Francis Cress Wilson. I don't think she was revolutionary.
Yeah, exactly. And Bobby Wright. And Amos Wilson.
Bobby Wright died early. Amos Wilson and Bobby Wright died real.
But that's what I'm saying is that the reason. See, we're making excuses again. What I'm saying is that if you're trying to make a real, true African mentality towards nation building, one, you don't focus on America. Two, you don't only do psychology. And three, you don't, like already you see what's going. You see what I'm saying. If you go and read these, because first off, Bobby Wright only has like one. Well, I heard he had maybe 2 books. I only saw one, but I heard he has like maybe 2 or 3 books. I don't know, but he only has these books. Like one of them is like a pamphlet. Menticide is a pamphlet, right? Amos Wilson has some books.
These are essays.
Huh?
Compiled essays.
Oh, these are essays. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but the pamphlet on Amos Wilson has quite a few books. But for the most part, they're just, oh, well, this is the thing with America. And again, if you take the psychology route, the psychology argument is not enough for the real human problems.
I don't think you've read these books, though. So I understand what you're saying in that.
You don't think I read what book?
What we have here is psychological. What I'm saying is that if you read these books, they're talking about Africa, they're talking about global unity, and making investments in Africa and things that have to be done here in order to go over into Africa. So even Amos Wilson, he started what's it called? Black World Info Systems, a company, a publishing company. He was starting a credit union. He had a lot of financial investments that he was working on, and then he died and everything kind of stopped.
Okay.
I think African World Info System still exists. I don't know who's running it though.
Oh, maybe it's a Bible Plata. Maybe his publisher. Okay, but yeah, okay. What about it?
Oh, well, what I'm saying is that you said that they weren't revolutionary. So I think.
So wait, you think? Hold on a second. Look, we gotta understand this. So you gonna tell me that getting a business and dying is revolutionary? Is comparable to Nyerere, Nkrumah, Affiong, all these names that we don't know in America.
Affiong is one of my favorite people on the planet. So don't get me wrong. Nkrumah, I love Nkrumah. Again, Nkrumah made a lot of mistakes.
Okay, so look, that's what I'm saying. Nkrumah might have made mistakes, but you're comparing that. You're exalting somebody who just like had like a business for like a year and died to somebody who liberated a country.
I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is that
mentally as a people, we're not ready for revolution. We will lose every revolution that we try to do. We're not mentally ready. We don't understand
how.
the world that we live in.
Hold on. You see, that's the thing right there. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. Look here. Nkrumah leads a successful revolution. Nyerere, successful. Sankara, successful. Right? Maurice Bishop, successful. Dessalines, successful.
What was his name in Kenya?
Kenyatta, successful.
Kenyatta, successful. But here's the thing. Fred Hampton said...
Again, these Americans can't do anything.
Yo, brother. Let me explain this.
Fred Hampton
made the case that you can have a successful revolution without education. And what happens is these black Africans, and I'm an African myself, born on the continent, they turn around and oppress the people that they got the revolution for. So you have to have a strong African middle class that can hold these people accountable. You can't do that with an uneducated mass that you have a revolution with. You just can't. So other people have done what we're trying to do. Jewish people have done it. East Indians have done it. Chinese people have done it. But you can't just have an uneducated class that then becomes these underclass that gets exploited by this new bourgeoisie.
Again, this is the thing with this Americanism. This is the trouble with this is what's going on in Africa. We think we have enough books, of course. That's fine.
I'm not an American, brother.
I know you're not American, but you just said Fred Hampton. What did Fred Hampton accomplish?
Fred Hampton gave a critique on success.
What did Fred Hampton accomplish?
Accomplish? What if any of these African people you're talking about accomplished?
They are. Oh my gosh! Hold on a second. So you really gonna put Fred Hampton? You're gonna say Fred Hampton's in the same category as Nyerere?
No, you're making that point. I'm not making that case.
You asked what did Nyerere accomplish?
Critical analysis.
Wait, hold on. What did Nyerere accomplish? Nyerere has a whole freaking country.
Doing what right now?
What is Tanzania doing right now? Is that the question?
Yes.
Tanzania is running its own country.
No African country is running its own country.
You see what I'm saying? This is the American point of view. This is the American point of view, and you're not even American.
That's not an American point of view. It sounds like you're trying to just be contrarian to be contrarian.
No. Look, if
these African countries don't have control over themselves, that's why they're doing so poorly. They're puppets. The leaders, the bourgeoisie, they are comprador bourgeoisie. Mm-hmm. There's a few African countries that I'd say are making good progress.
And is Tanzania
on the better side of that?
Okay.
Tanzania is doing okay.
So then we go back to the original question.
Ethiopia is doing okay.
If Tanzania is doing okay, then yes, you would put Nyerere above.
Oh yeah, I would put. Look, Fred Hampton. If you want me to go apples to apples, I'm not going to compare Fred, but I'm not going to disparage Fred. Like, what do I get by disparaging Fred Hampton? I'm saying that he was necessary and he had some good points. A lot of these people, they're like puzzle pieces.
Oh my gosh.
They each had a contribution, right? Not a single one of them was 100% right. But these revolutionaries in Africa, they didn't finish the job.
This is what's going on with us as a people. You have actual revolutionaries on the continent, actual Pan-Africanists. And instead of us saying, you know what, let's look into them. Let's look into them closely. We are looking at these Americans who have opinions.
I look at African revolutionaries, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba,
You're comparing people who fought and created whole new nations on this planet to a young boy who was assassinated, unfortunately, in America.
I'm not making that comparison. You're making that comparison.
Well, you asked me. No, I asked you, what did Fred Hampton accomplish? Because you brought him up, and then you said, what did any of these other people accomplish? As if it was even comparable.
No, you're saying that
mm-hmm.
you're talking about Americanism, right? That basically Francis Cress Welsing, Amos Wilson, these people are psychologists, right?
They are.
I understand what you're saying.
Are they not?
Yeah.
Okay.
That they're psychologists, right? And you are trying to make a comparison between psychologists and revolutionaries.
No.
And
You said
a lot of the psychologists were not revolutionary, but I would say maybe 2 of them were. But they didn't get the chance to do what they were trying to do. Like let's talk about Garvey.
My thing is this. Hold on a second. Let me.
Did Garvey even step foot on the African continent?
Let me ask you this. But before we do this, you think I should cut this? I probably should cut this live stream short, right? I feel like we left the topic, or should I leave it on? What do you guys think?
You asked us if we had questions. That's why we're going in this direction.
I know, but I mean, we could continue talking without the live stream. That's what I'm saying. I mean, without it being broadcast on YouTube. I'm not too sure.
Oh, that would be better. I'd appreciate that.
Oh, okay. So, what do you think, Machiavelli? You think people? Because nobody's really watching on YouTube, but they can always watch it later. So, I mean, this is what y'all get. So let me just close out, I guess. So look, this is what if y'all wanted to engage in this conversation, if y'all wanted it to be, y'all could have signed on. Ramses, I don't know. Did you just join the Discord, or were you here for a minute? Oh, I can't hear you. But all right. I don't know what he's saying. But all right. So, all right, family. What we're gonna do is we're gonna close out this program, and you could come have a conversation anytime. I think Ramses should come on and we could discuss this on live, but it sounds like he don't want to. But if he does,
I don't mind either way. I don't mind either way.
All right, so maybe another time we could, but we could finish the conversation today too. So but before that, I'm going to close out the stream. So thanks everybody for listening to the Pro-Black Perspective. Like I said, subscribe, share, and like, and we can go on from there. But Shem Yam Hotep and all that. So I'm going to end this stream. All right, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to hold on a second. Let me just